You are listening to This is Oklahoma, hosted by Mike Hearn, telling stories of Oklahomans and those that have made it their home.
This podcast is presented by the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, who have been telling Oklahoma's story through its people since 1927. Follow them online at oklahomahof.com, and then definitely follow them on Instagram for all the information that you need, because I'm sure that's where you follow us as well, at oklahomahof. Let's get into today's episode. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of This is Oklahoma. Mike Hearn here, your host, back with another episode. Return podcast guest today, Noah Elias, is on the podcast to talk a little bit more about his company, Stars and Stripes Co. Previous podcast, which I'll link in the description below. You can go and learn about the history, but appreciate you coming down to the city, mate, and good to see you again.
Good to see you too, man.
It's been a while, isn't it?
It has. I feel like I see you all the time, though. You're constantly on my feed.
Yeah, likewise. I think we connect a lot, don't we, on the old social, but in person it's been very, very few opportunities that, you know, when we're ever in town, it's like, hey, I'm going to call you, and if you're around, then let's do something. But for the most part, it's mostly on social. But yeah, I mean, you're doing great things, and you know, the company seems to be growing in the right direction, right? I think you were still working the last time, like you still had your 9 to 5 last time we recorded.
Yeah, I had a 9 to 5, but I got laid off, and out of my own decision, I didn't choose to go look for any more jobs. I kind of like the idea of not having a boss.
Yeah.
So I've been doing Stars and Stripes full time now for past 7 months.
Yeah. It's been good.
Yeah. It's been fun.
It's probably a nice kind of like, a good opportunity and a nice blessing in disguise, right? To be
Correct.
Like, let's go all in.
I like doing my own thing, and it feels good for it to be successful, because not everybody gets to do that, so I feel blessed. Yeah,
definitely. And I got to shout out our facility today. If you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, or some of the clips that will come out from this on social media, huge shout out to Alyssa Dyer and Table Investments for letting us use their conference room. And I am wearing my Be Better, Do Better shirt, which I'll link the video to that. The whole, what is it? I'm trying to think of the right word for it.
It's early. It's all good.
It is early. It's 8:30 in the morning, and I don't usually get up. The whole, I don't know, what is it called? Not a coalition thing. We've partnered with Alyssa because she has this awesome T-shirt and this design movement. That's the word I'm looking for. This whole Be Better, Do Better movement, which has come out of COVID.
There you go.
Basically, people should be better and do better at what they do. Super simple.
I agree.
Travels a long way. So that she's got some cool T-shirts, and
I'm gonna have to get one.
We can definitely figure that out. But yeah, down in the city today to do another podcast with Jordan from Gen Y, right? Jordan and Justin.
Yeah, Jordan and Justin.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. That's coming after this one, so I snuck in early.
Jordan's a cool guy. Justin's a cool guy. They're both doing really cool things. I love what they're doing, so glad to be a part of it. Yeah,
their podcast is really cool. It's a Gen Y podcast, and obviously Justin's doing the Fight for Forgotten stuff.
Right.
Both been on the podcast before, and Justin just, I know, he's still got that long lion mane hair and that giant beard.
Justin is so I've met a lot of really, really nice people in my day. I consider myself to be a nice person. Mm-hmm. He makes me feel like a mean person. He's so nice. I don't think it gets nicer than Justin Wren. He's just, he's just a big teddy bear, you know what I mean?
That's a great
And he
way
looks
to put
like
it.
Thor.
He does look like
He's
Thor.
the nicest guy ever, but he could manhandle you.
Yeah, you see him in the ring and you think that's not the same person.
Yeah, no.
Right?
That's a scary thing.
You watch his old
you
fight
look at him
videos.
and you're like, this guy, he loves hugs. He's smiling constantly. He has a soft, voice. But yeah, he's also a berserker.
That's a great way to put it. But yeah, I mean, the last time we did the podcast, you told a little bit about, what Stars and Stripes company is, and for those listening who are new listeners, just kind of, what is it that you do, and I guess where did the story come from? Just remind us on that.
Yeah, I'll just take us back down memory lane a little bit. So I started Stars and Stripes company in 2015. It all started when I was getting into medical sales. My uncle actually helped me get a job, and he had just bought a house with a barn on the property. Really had this vision of seeing an American flag in his barn. I wanted to buy a wooden one, and all I could find were ones that were made in China and Iraq and all overseas. An American flag made overseas, not in America.
Or the kids' palette ones that haven't been done very well.
Yeah,
your baseball team.
Your Hobby Lobby flag. So anyway, I got on YouTube, saw some videos on carpentry, figured I'd give it a shot. At the time, we were living with my mother-in-law while we were trying to find a house. So I got to drive her nuts by starting carpentry in her garage, which was awesome because it made for some funny stories in the long run. But yeah, so I got him his flag. He loved it. He posted it on Facebook. Had a bunch of buddies that reached out to me. And then after I did those and I kind of understood what I was doing, I started posting them on Facebook. Then I was selling them to friends, and I said, you know what? So I started going on Facebook Marketplace. And then I said, let's start an Instagram. And at the time, it was Stars and Stripes Decor.
Okay.
But I thought that was limiting myself a little bit because I had a bigger vision than just I love apparel. So for those of you who don't know, I started an apparel company way back in the day called Never Settle Apparel, which now there's someone that owns that. He's a retired Navy SEAL and works with like Jocko Willink and stuff. He has that name. But I was like, I want to give apparel another shot. I don't think that people are going to want to buy something with decor on it necessarily.
Sure.
So Stars and Stripes Company was born, and we just kept advancing, making better and better flags, and I really focused on doing what was different than everybody else. So now we do apparel, canvases, flags, coffee cup, like literally everything that you can think of, we're putting our hands into. We love country music, so that's a big passion of mine. We love being outdoors and hunting. So throughout the next couple of years, you're going to see a lot of that stuff in the apparel and that kind of feel, but we're also going to be able to make the world's best handmade flags.
Yeah.
So
and they're awesome.
Pretty badass, man. We need to get you one.
I told you at the start of the year I'm going to buy one before the end of the year, and I've got plenty of time left. So
we need to get one that you can like collapse and pop up, no matter like where we're right here, and you just put it in the background as a backdrop for this camera right here.
That would be sick. Yeah, not this.
So we did a canvas American flag.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep getting away from this mic.
That's all right.
We did a canvas American flag, and Randall Pitch that owns Live Fit Apparel. So we took a really high quality resolution picture of one of our card flags, and we said, how can we sell this flag in canvas form? Blew it up on a canvas, you put it on the wall. If you step on the other side of the room, you look at the canvas, you think it's a wooden flag. Yeah. We could probably do that.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
That'd be really sick.
And for the origin story, you started making them handmade and taught yourself carpentry and, pissed off your mother-in-law a little bit just by doing all this stuff. But what after like selling out one or two and family thinking, oh, that's cool, I want that, then it became an actual like business idea, I assume, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supply and demand essentially. And then it was kind of one of those things where I was like, anybody, if you Google search wooden flag, there's gonna be a million things, but I wanted to make something that people were looking at it not just as a wooden flag, they're like, how the hell did you make that? Yeah. So if you look at one of our flags, it literally looks like it took years to make. Or what I originally tried to encompass with our flags is it looks like it's been around for hundreds of years. And that's the look I went for. And that's what we keep doing today. And that's what sets us apart from everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, something that's come off like an old warship or something that's just been battered and it's got stains on it, but it looks awesome. And still, it's kind of, and also like, I'm thinking of, when the more tornadoes came through Oklahoma both times, there's always a scene where someone is like picking up an American flag off the ground and that's like the image that I think of, right? Because like it's been battered, it's been bruised, it's gone through a tornado, it's a storm, but it's like this flag that stands for something. Correct. And that's what I see with like, mentioning like how long your flags have, that look like they've been
you hit it on the
for.
head. Like growing up, my dad was real big into antiques and we'd go like find like old gas pumps and stuff like that. And my wife and I, we watched like American Pickers. And I said, if I had all the money in the bank right now, that's probably what I'd do. I'd just drive around and go through people's crap and just find the coolest antiques.
What a job.
I imagine someone like walking into like an old building that's been abandoned for years and seeing like an old Corvette and like all this stuff, and then seeing one of our flags up on the wall and be like, whoa, that's fun. That's what I want to look like.
That's cool. I also love the way that kind of like you marketed from early on, you were contacting as many people as possible and then taking them flags and giving them flags, right?
Absolutely.
Like all these big names.
I think that still is a diehard way to grow your business from day one. Because, I mean, when I started, like I said, I was out of my mother-in-law's garage. I didn't have any money to market, and no one knew who Noah Elias was in a business standpoint or Stars and Stripes Company. So what I did have to offer was a really good product. Yeah. So that's what I did. Your Andy Frisella's, all those people, I was giving them flags, asking nothing in return, and then getting home and seeing they posted it and slowly growing. And I encourage anybody that is starting in business to do that or something in that sense. Give without the mindset of thinking you're going to get something in return. And usually it comes back around. I'm sure you know that better than anybody.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're recording this, on a Monday, but even yesterday, sorry, Monday, it's early. We're recording
what
this.
What is today?
I don't really know.
Thursday.
There you go. Yeah, see, I'm way off. But even yesterday, like you reposted, Ryan Mickler had posted,
he's a great guy,
the Art of Man podcast. Ryan, I met him down in Lawton one year. I saw he was in town. I just sent him a message like, "Hey, can I come and see you?" He's like, "Oh yeah, come have breakfast." So I just drove down to Lawton for breakfast.
No kidding.
It was a Jimmy's egg. It was horrific breakfast. Yeah. But I just drove, got to meet him and hang out and chat with him for an hour over breakfast. He was meeting somebody else, and he's like, "Yeah, just come join us."
He texted me yesterday. We have a mutual friend. He texted me yesterday, and he's such a cool guy, man. He was like, "Is there anything I can do to help?" I was like, "Yeah, post a picture."
Yeah, exactly.
So he did just that. But yeah, he's got such a we need him in 2020. We need guys like that. I mean, he's for those of you who don't know, he has podcasts and a big following, and basically just trying to teach men that it's okay to be men.
Is it the Art of Man?
The Art of Man.
Art of Man podcast. Yeah. His whole brand is. You're right. It's like teaching men it's okay to be a man. Provide for your family, protect your family.
There's no real such thing as toxic masculinity. It's more just it's so over portrayed in 2020 that being a man is you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to be strong. You're not allowed to have a voice. All these things that back in the 90s, 80s, and 70s we were raised was okay. Now it's not. Yeah. So
you mentioned Randall as well. Randall Pitch is obviously another real big successful businessman out in LA, and then has his Live Fit and some other businesses that he has as well. And you have the partnership with the canvas with Randall, right?
Yeah. So Randall's been a huge influence in my business life for sure. He's a good friend as well, but he owns a company, like I said, Live Fit, but also Sky Labs. This is other company where they do a lot of cool canvas stuff, and that's where we were given the great opportunity to get our stuff printed. So Randall's like a creative genius. He's always he's like a computer that never turns off but never slows down and is going at full speed all the time. And when you sit next to him, he just starts spraying out all these ideas. Yeah. And you don't understand how someone can come up with that. But yeah, we've gotten to work with him, and before this whole COVID thing hit, I was going down to LA quite often.
Yeah, I saw that. You're going out, doing some work with him, going to the gym, and because Randall, obviously, with his Live Fit business, loves the gym and everything that stands for. Yeah. And I know you mentioned Dylan, who I connected with a little bit a couple of days ago, who lives in Oklahoma, that Randall's doing stuff with, right? Dylan, who does the...
Yeah, so,
Dylan Stallings, is it?
The tattoo teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah, so which I think he's having a thing on the 24th.
Yeah, we're going to try and get down for that for sure.
So, yeah, we should go down and meet up day before. But apparently, I was texting him last night because my wife is big into child development. Yeah, She always worked with kids. So I can't remember if I followed him and she followed him or vice versa, but she really believes in stuff because he's helping kids in that small town develop to be men. I think he mainly works with boys, but forgive me if I'm wrong. But yeah, he's helping these kids develop and let them know that what they want to do can be accomplished. So she's always followed him, and then I reached out to him just the other day, and he's having some big event on the 24th, and Randall's coming down. So yeah, man, you should.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, so the stuff that he does is great. Is it just kind of helping the kids and become men and opening the gym and then giving them a way to kind of release their attention and release whatever it is that they got pent up anger or whatever, and he seems to be doing great things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's got he got a big following, and he's doing the right thing, so he rightly deserved. Back to, I guess, the business. What's last time we spoke, you had kind of just done a massive order, I think, for like Clemson football or someone. It was like 170 something flags. These aren't like little, for everyone listening and watching, like these aren't like little like flags. I mean, you do make flags that go on your mantelpiece above the fire, but these are what, like 3 feet?
Those
flat?
were all 37 by 20 inches.
Yeah. And you made 170 of them, was it?
No,
right?
no, it was.
You made a lot, didn't you?
We made 220. It was like, at first, it was like 130, and then he'd call me midway through, be like, hey, let's tack on another 50.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go ahead and tack on another 30. And then the last thing is like, the last call, I saw him calling me, and it's literally like 2 weeks. I've been working till like midnight every night for the past 6 months to make this happen.
Yeah.
Because I hate to do this to you. He's a country boy. He's like, hey, no, I hate to do this to you. I was like, man.
How many more?
I said, I'm about to block your number, I promise you. And he goes, can you make some Clemson flags? So he made these Clemson flags. And I said, I'm not talking to you again until I get in Georgia. So like, if you call me, we're not doing more flags. But yeah, that was a big order. And then since then, we work with like real estate groups. Mm-hmm. We'll make flags as closing gifts, so we get a bunch of orders that way. So like in the quantities like 40 to 50.
Yeah.
But we went big on TikTok recently.
Really?
Went viral on TikTok.
Is that because of your wife's influence on TikTok?
So my wife's influence on TikTok made me not want to do it. I was coming home. She's going to kill me for this, by the way. I was coming home like from work, and she's doing school and stuff. And I guess her little breaks that most people like take some time to watch TV. She's doing TikToks.
Yeah. Noah's wife, for everyone listening, is like very, very good on TikTok. She's got a very creative imagination.
She's hilarious.
Yeah. And your daughter as well is all about it.
Yeah, they're doing it together, so in synchronous.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would come home and I would walk in on these TikTok videos, and they'd be like, get out of the room, we got to finish this. I was like, oh my God, this TikTok thing. So anyway, I started listening. I happened to listen to this Gary Vee podcast, and he was preaching from the hilltop saying like, if you don't have TikTok, get on it now. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. This is why. So I said, I'll just go ahead and make my name, Noah Elias, on TikTok, that account, and then I'll make Stars and Stripes Company's name. Yeah. I started posting a couple videos on Stars and Stripes, and it didn't pop. Like nothing was happening. And then on mine, I basically duplicated the same video. I made it a different way. It was just me like working around at Stars and Stripes Company's headquarters and making some flags. I woke up the next morning, and at the bottom notification, there's like your notification thing, and it says 99 plus. Yeah. I was like, what is it? So I click it, and it's like I went from like 2 followers to like 25,000 followers overnight. What? That's and then wild. All day, like literally, you could sit there and refresh, and it was constantly 99 plus, 99 plus, 99 all day.
That's how the famous people feel.
So I'm at like 60,000 followers on TikTok now, and my wife, who's probably got like 35 plus videos, she had like 10,000 followers.
Oh, she's livid, isn't she?
She was constantly like, I don't know, guys, getting pretty famous on TikTok. And I go like, I blow up like overnight. And I'm like, I'm walking around the house. I'm like, I don't know, I'm pretty famous right now. So she was just like, oh yeah, good job. But you know, it was just so funny how it worked out, because I was giving her so much crap about TikTok. And then like that, just like,
you're like, yeah.
But TikTok's got this weird algorithm. They want you to be successful. Yeah. Unlike Instagram, where you have to pay. Now TikTok, you do have to pay. But when you make a video, so anybody that's new to business, or if you want to be an influencer, get on TikTok now, create an account, because they push your video out there in the For You page, which is kind of like the search page on Instagram. Yeah. And they want people to see you because it gives you that feel-good feeling. Right. And if you're doing good on this app, you're most likely going to stay.
Right.
So...
yeah, that makes sense.
That's my short story on TikTok.
I mean, there's such like a a mental mind game that these people who create these apps. And I know there's a lot of bad stuff out there in the press about like this being owned by China and blah 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 blah. But you can dive into any social media platform and know that like they are basically tricking you to hit your dopamine sensors so that you can continue to be on this app as long as possible and get addicted. And that's what it is.
Facebook is also taking all your information.
Oh yeah, all of it. So. Everyone is. Yeah, it's. Yeah.
But it's okay if it's in America. It's just not okay if it's in China.
It doesn't make any sense, does it? Oh, that's so funny. So what do your daughter think about you being famous on TikTok? Because she was trying to get you in her videos, right, for a long time.
Yeah, and I wouldn't do it.
And you wouldn't do it.
Well, my idea on TikTok is I honestly thought it was nothing but dance stuff because it was Musically, I think is what it was called. Yeah. So she's like, make a TikTok. I was like, no.
I'm not singing and dancing,
You get about 4 beers and a shot of tequila in me, I can dance. But I'm not dancing like just to dance in front of all these strangers.
For 10 minutes in the house for a video.
So yeah, but the funny thing is, if you go to my TikTok, it's not really me doing it. It's more of like stuff about Stars and Stripes Company. So I'm not.
Which is really cool because it's different to what every other video is out there. And it's you doing the process of making these flags.
Yeah, it's like I'll go. So what's cool with TikTok is like you can click on a comment and leave a video response. So it'll be like. Really? Someone will be like, hey, can you make a thin green line flag? And then I'll make a video. It's like, here you go. And I'll show the thin green line flag. And then the crap thing about my personal profile being bigger than Stars and Stripes is everyone's like, where can I buy one? And I'm like, okay, I put a link in my description. I have to like almost every comment I have to go and like respond to everybody, tell them where to buy it. So
and there's hundreds of comments.
For that one video, it had 1.9 million views. So there was literally...
What? That's ridiculous.
Thousands and thousands of comments. So I remember being up one night just like responding to like every comment.
Did you get any sales out of it?
Yeah, we got flooded. Like,
dude, that's so good.
At one point, we had over 6,000 people on the website. Yeah, if you're in business, TikTok's the thing right now. Like for real, like it's no joke.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
and people are doing short things on like podcasts. Like podcasters right now to get their podcast bigger. They're basically doing short segments of so you take this clip, throw it on TikTok, a 30-second thing, like the most interesting thing about it, and then people are like, oh, what is that? And then they'll click your YouTube link in your comment. Yeah, so
I need to do that because I do that anyway for like Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that. But they're longer clips, so I need to like cut them down.
Now Instagram's got the reels, so they're like,
like
they stole from Snapchat to do the stories, and now they're just stealing your own TikTok to do the reels.
Social media is such a minefield, isn't it?
Oh my God.
Big circus, big game. That's really cool.
Yeah, man.
I love that. I love that story because I know just from following you and your wife, just seeing like the fact that your daughter really wanted you to get on TikTok, and no, and now I'm gonna do it on my own. And now I've blown up.
There's always something going on in our household, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, it's good to see though, because I think like, I don't know another. I don't see on social media another parents do and learn and teach and be as creative as you and your wife are with your daughter. I don't see that anywhere else.
I gotta give her a lot more credit. So she's been like my Yoda for parenting, like, because I mean she's worked with kids her whole like teenage to adulthood life, and I just had an idea I was gonna have kids someday. I never was like I'm gonna have a kid so young and like figure out. So she's held my hand through a lot of the way, and she's been an amazing teacher, and I wouldn't be the dad or the husband I am today without her, so I gotta give her a lot of credit.
Yeah. We should have her on the podcast.
You should, man.
I need to come up.
It'll be like a 4-hour-long podcast, but it'll be a good one.
It might be worth it. We'll see. Taryn needs to come up. We need to, just me and my wife, Taryn, need to come up to BA and hang out for a bit.
Yeah, for sure. You need to have her host the podcast.
There we go.
One time, and then have Taylor as the first guest. That'd be a good podcast.
Let's do that. Yeah. We can put that on the schedule, because if we don't, it'll
never
happen.
This is Women Oklahoma podcast.
That could do really well.
It probably would.
Maybe. My wife might have to talk in a British accent. We'll see.
Yeah.
So tell me about the group. The original plan for today was obviously to have Mac down and talk about a little bit of some hunting stuff. And I know you mentioned that, Stars and Stripes apparel stuff is going to be going down more of the hunting line and the country music line, because that's truly a passion of yours. And the group of friends that you have this really kind of cool opportunity in business that they have, right? Up in,
Matt canceled on you.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Flew
you
out
need-
of town.
So the next time that you guys have a podcast lined up, just cancel on him. You guys will be even.
There we go. Yeah, I need to. He keeps telling me I need to just, instead of coming here, I need to just come up and go to it's Crash Landing, right?
Yeah, it's crash landing. They're starting duck season coming up, and that's like the big thing that they're all
I've
doing.
never ever been hunting ever. So if I'm going to go once, this is my first time. It has to be up there, doesn't it?
Yeah,
If we're going to do it right, it's going to be up there.
We probably need to take you to the range.
Yeah.
Have you ever shot shotgun?
I like to shoot. Yeah, not a shotgun because they'll probably. I remember the first time somebody gave me a shotgun to shoot. I had a golf tournament the next weekend, and I'm
Ooh, you're
like,
stiff.
yeah, I'm not. Oh, I didn't even shoot it. I'm like,
No?
I know what's going to happen, and it was like nationals. Like, I was like, I'm not.
It's probably
So
smart.
you
I
can
just-
hand that back. Yeah.
I just took my wife
But-
and daughter dove hunting for the first time this last on Labor Day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that Labor Day?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So they did that, and it was her. Like her shoulders all black and blue now. So
Yeah, that would be me, and I'm not like you. I'm not really built to handle that. I need to do a lot more shoulder workouts to handle some that, or even wear like a padded shoulder.
the
or
thing with
something.
like shotguns, what people like freak out about is they don't hold it tight enough, and
they don't. Yeah.
when you hold a shotgun, you want it like close to your face. You want to look down the barrel, but you're also wanting to like really hold it. So when
Okay.
it does kick, your body's already next to it.
rather than it kicking into you.
Yeah,
and,
when
like,
people hold it
bruising you.
loose, it's literally just like a thud
Yeah.
against you. So
Yeah.
we'll get you set up, get you a few practice shots, and get you on a duck.
You've grown up like in like country boy hunting and stuff like that. So that's why it's such a thing to. It's not uncommon for you to be in that scene and naturally transfer clothing into that anyway, because it's clothes that you've worn your entire life, the hats and the boots and whatever.
Yeah,
now
so
you
like-
just put a Stars and Stripe company logo on it.
I'm real like I just love being out in the country, but I mean, I don't know. I've got like an idea of like how I like to see stuff, and my clothing would be more of like a Texas, Oklahoma twang to it, mixed in with a little bit of everything else that I like. So we'll see. Like we're coming out with some cool stuff. It's hard to describe until you see it. And you're like, oh, okay.
Well, and apparel is such a hard business to get into if you don't know your exact direction, right? Because so many people coming in, it's so easy to drop ship. Like, oh, I'm going to put a logo on this and I'm going to sell these T-shirts. I'm going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Well, no. But if you have a brand behind you and it's something that you stand for, it's much easier to transition into. Now we do hats. Now, you know, this. I love the stickers that you give away with every order that you have, right? Like the American flag sticker. What does that say on it?
Stars and Stripes Company.
Yeah.
We have.
It's better here. Is that what it is?
We got the outline of America, and it says it's better here.
I freaking love that.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah. But no, there's a lot of things you're doing that I like. It's, you know, like the stickers, the clothing, the flags, and the flags in, you know, it's not just the giant flag that's the size of a TV. You know, you do the small ones and the canvases. It's anybody can buy something from your store.
You hit the nail on the head. That's the point of it. It's because in reality, not everybody's going to come to our website and be able to buy a flag. Going back to the beginning of this podcast, we talked about how much time and effort it took to get this started, but now we've perfected it, so it takes us a long time to make these flags. Like these are painstakingly handcrafted from start to finish, so they're not cheap.
Yeah.
But if you can't afford a flag, you can afford a hat, you can afford a sticker. So like you said, we're trying to get something for everybody. And I think that's what's going to make us successful in the future.
And it's made in America. It's not going anywhere else.
100%, baby. Center of America, right here in Oklahoma.
Yeah, center of the universe,
There
right?
you go. Is that actually true?
I have no idea.
I know we
there's a
have
statue
that
in Tulsa, right? Center of the universe.
I think there's that thing where you can hear an echo, but I mean, how do we actually know where the
I think that's
center?
engineered, right? Because the Devon Tower has that same kind of thing. If you stand in the
They
middle
probably
of the
have
Devon
one
Tower,
in every state to make everybody feel special.
Well, and it's just hilarious that it's in America too. I love that.
Gotcha.
My family comes to town. I was like, hey, let's go to the center of the universe in Tulsa. Like,
right.
What?
Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah, that's not true. But so what? I mean, you know, this year obviously has been kind of strange for everybody, and you know, hindered, I guess, progress for a lot of businesses. Luckily, I assume for you, it's you still have a small shop. You know, that you don't have 1,000 employees working for you. You don't have to worry about that. But I'm sure it's still affecting material, maybe.
It was scary because I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. But when everyone was cooped up at home, they said, "What better use of my time than start fixing up stuff around the house?"
Yeah.
So we use a lot of locally sourced wood from different people, but it became really hard to get a hold of it because everyone was buying wood to redo their deck, to build up their fence, whatever it may be. So literally couldn't find wood for a long time. And I was like reaching out to people all over the state, like, do you have this? Do you have that? But we were busy right when COVID started. Everyone was at home. No one thought they were going to lose their job. They thought this was going to be like a week-long thing, 2-week-long thing. They'd be back to work. Yeah. And people were buying flags. People were buying stuff all over. I think Amazon hit like record numbers in that short week. And then the stimulus checks started to happen. So people started losing jobs. This is now almost 2-3 months into it. People are really freaking out, saving their money. And us, just like a lot of other businesses, took a huge hit. Yeah. We weren't making sales, like literally zero. And then luckily enough, I started like trying to figure out different ways. That's where TikTok comes into play. Yeah. And I have a really cool guy that we do marketing with and all that stuff. So we just came up with a different game plan. But yeah, man, it got scary for a little bit. And my heart goes out to the people that are not going to be able to recover from this.
Right, because people, if and even you, if you got laid off, if you didn't have Stars and Stripes,
screwed.
You'd be like, now I have to find another job, or
or unemployment.
Unemployment,
there are those. So in Tulsa, there's like the IRS office, unemployment. Like that line is around the building every single day.
People camping out to get in line. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good situation. So, what now, obviously coming up close to the end of the year, you're going to be planning for next year. What's, obviously you got the clothing stuff coming, but is there anything else that's in the works and exciting partnerships coming up? I know, you partnered with Randall and you have all these other cool connections, and Bedros is one that we mentioned on the last podcast. Is there anyone out there that you're trying to work with now and kind of plans for next year?
So we are, it's so weird because we had so many cool things coming up this year that were obviously canceled. And I wouldn't say necessarily partnerships, but like networking, kind of like what you do, just like getting around people, letting people understand that we're not just a flag company is like a big thing of ours right now. We're going to be sending out a lot of hats to artists and people like you, just like anybody and everybody. So that's our goal, especially while people are home. Getting them that stuff. But man, as far as partnerships, we'll see. I've got some stuff down the pipipeline. I really don't want to jump into it just yet, but
don't want to jinx it.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, awesome. So the good thing, and I know you mentioned this earlier, is that you don't just make American flags. Like you could make the Clemson flags. You custom stuff as well. So if there's people listening, I think the Clemson one, I remember it was for like a fundraiser or maybe a golf tournament or something. Everyone was getting a flag, right?
There you go. It was a golf tournament for a big oil company, and there just happened to be like the head guys on the board were all Clemson fans.
And that was their tea gift.
Yeah.
You pay $1,000 to be in this golf tournament, you're going to get a flag and a goodie bag.
You get a flag. There you go.
But that's a cool thing, because I know that one day I will have you make a Welsh flag, which is really hard to do because of the dragons, quite hard to stack,
right?
For you to hand do that. So I don't care how long it takes, and I will get one.
10 years. 10 years lead time.
Yeah, but that to me would be awesome to have. But the good thing is, like, for people listening, like, you can make any flag. You mentioned the thin green line, the thin blue line. Right. You do all of this stuff. It's not just.
So there are flags, and unfortunately I will turn down. Like, that we've had companies that send, because it's all done by hand. Like, I have no machine that you plug in a design on a computer, and like most of you know what a CNC. Like, there are some that are so intricate with like tiny thin lines that I know I'm not going to be able to do that by hand, because I'm going to mess up. I'm going to have to start over, and then
it's
just losing money. So I would rather you go find someone with a CNC machine.
Gotcha.
But for the most part, we can do just about everything. But I'll be upfront with you and tell you yes or no pretty quickly.
Yeah. What's like the hardest one you've done so far then? That you're like, I can do this, I'm going to try it. And it took a lot longer than expected, but it was.
There's been a bunch of those.
Yeah.
So we did one recently for the Beer Brothers podcast, and that one was difficult. But that was like a mug with microphones coming out of it and all this other stuff, like all over the place.
Yeah.
And I ended up sending that to a CNC guy, and then I did my stuff all around it, because the CNCs versus like mine was like night and day. Because I mean, it's so precise.
Oh, yeah.
It literally looks like you just put the logo on the flag.
Yeah.
So,
but there's the thing that I like about you doing it by hand is its character and culture in that.
Correct.
Right? It's not, CNC, you just push a button and it's cool, but that's not the handmade process that's valued, I guess, with just the standard American flags that you do, right? Like the stars and the pictures that you post are very good. The little stars are all individually done by you, all the chisel bit out. That stuff is like, that's awesome. That's why, that's, I'm sure, the value and the whole reason
that's
you
what
do it, right?
It's just, everything, like we said, is handmade. So that's where it comes into play.
So for everyone listening, where can they kind of go? What's the website? What's social media links? And obviously the TikTok as well now.
So you can find everything on social media for me is just Noah Elias. And then for Stars and Stripes Company, it's at Stars and Stripes Company for everything. And then the website is www.starsandstripesco.com. So
awesome.
CO.
Great. Well, mate, I appreciate you coming down. I'm excited to see you on Jordan's podcast soon, and whenever that comes out, I'll get this one out before he puts his out.
Yeah, let's have a race.
So we'll have a race. We'll get that one out. But
I'm gonna tell him you said that.
Oh yeah, so definitely. But yeah, I appreciate you coming down, and I'll post all those links that you just mentioned down below. And for everyone watching and listening, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next episode. Cheers. This podcast was presented by the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, who've been telling Oklahoma's story through its people since 1927. Follow them online at oklahomahof.com and definitely on Instagram at oklahomahof. Catch you next episode. Cheers.
Thank you for listening. We are inspired by those around us and hope that you are too. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review so we can keep telling your stories. For more great Oklahoma content, follow This Is Oklahoma on Facebook and Instagram.